The cartels and the human traffickers are telling everybody, hey, you guys watching the news, next year is going to be another election. Looks like Joe Biden isn't getting the support that he needs, and his open border policy may fall apart because President Trump is leading in the polls and he may be the next president of the United States again. Let's get as many people in as possible. You guys better get in now. You better get in now. And so people are becoming more and more nervous. They're gathering more and more people to bring into the United States. The cartels and the human traffickers are upping the ante. There is an invasion at the border. And since last night, this is, I'm talking about 12 midnight, until this morning, more than 2,200 illegal migrants in just one small area of the Texas border came flooding across. That is Eagle Pass, Texas. I'm there quite frequently. It is a place I know very well, and it is one of the areas where we've seen enormous amounts of crossings. This, however, is probably one of the biggest, largest border crossings that have happened in the last several years. And I'm talking about just in a group, right? So I want you to imagine what it's like. I've been there when there've been 1,000, when there've been 1,500, and you're just standing on the border in the heat or in the cold or in, some of the most really unwelcoming, dangerous terrain. And it is the most unwelcoming and dangerous terrain in the summer months. And I want to stress that the United Nations, which I don't always rely on, which I believe is part of this big mess, has designated, though, this land crossing, again this year, the most dangerous land crossing in the world. Now, I want you to imagine you're just standing there. And all of a sudden you hear noise across the river and you hear people. And all of a sudden it's just flooding, a flood of humanity coming on the other side of the river. You've got smugglers. You've got guys walking around with guns. They're directing people to, these little buoys, these little boats. And they're asking them to get on, and they're trying to cross them. And they're just like handing them over, dropping them off, giving them to our Border Patrol, handing them to the National Guard. And I've heard a lot of strange talk out there about, well, we got to put our guard up there and they got to hold their guns and they got to, shoot. Now, nobody's going to shoot a kid. Nobody's going to shoot a woman. This is happening on purpose because the president that is in office, President Joe Biden, but more than likely, he is just the puppet of President Obama and Lisa Monaco and Susan Rice and the Obama regime. Not so much the Clintons. The Clintons were there, but the Clintons get used too. The Clintons are not as ideological. They're all about pocketing cash and money. That's all they want. But President Obama and his regime, his group, they're ideologues. They believe in globalism. They believe in, no borders, no sovereignty. This is that belief coming to life through the Biden administration. That is what is happening here. And fundamentally, it is happening, in my opinion, these massive caravans. And I want you to think about, there's two reasons why this is happening. One, the cartels and the human traffickers are telling everybody, hey, you guys watching the news, next year is going to be another election. Looks like Joe Biden isn't getting the support that he needs, and his open border policy may fall apart because President Trump is leading in the polls and he may be the next president of the United States again. Let's get as many people in as possible. You guys better get in now. You better get in now. And so people are becoming more and more nervous. They're gathering more and more people to bring into the United States. The other reason that we see this happening is because, then this is exactly what I believe. Because of this ideology, this belief that America should lead from behind, this belief that America is not the beacon of light that I believe it is for the rest of the world, this belief that fundamentally our nation is not a republic based on a democracy, this belief from the radical left that the Constitution is outdated and should be changed. This belief that we saw happening in New Mexico with the governor, move aside Second Amendment, who the hell cares, First Amendment, all of this stuff is happening right now before your eyes. And our nation is in jeopardy. I want you to take a 1,000-foot view of all of these events, folks. I want you to take a step back and watch what is happening to our country and ask yourself if you can remain quiet. But first, I want to thank Allegiance Gold. Thank you, Allegiance Gold, for making this podcast possible, for being there so I can have all these great guests and be able to talk directly to you. One of the greatest audiences ever in podcast history is the Sara Carter Show audience. Gold and silver allow you to protect what you've worked so hard for, and it gives you back the control and the privacy that you need. And because reputation is important to me, and because I want you to diversify so that you don't lose your assets, you need to go to Allegiance Gold. Right now, you'll get $5,000 of free silver on a qualifying purchase when you tell them that Sara sent you. Yes, get $5,000 of free silver on a qualifying purchase when you visit protectwithsara.com today, or give them a call at 877-702-7272. That's 877-702-SARA, SARA. Don't wait. Take control of your retirement today. Call 877-702-7272 and speak with one of their experts. They'll answer all your questions and help you get started on the path to a more secure and prosperous retirement. Time is of the essence. Protect your future with Allegiance Gold. Visit protectwithsara.com or call 877-702-7272. That's 877-702-SARA, SARA. I want to start off with a tweet from my friend and great reporter, Bill Melugin. And I think this is the way he captured this is very important. In quotes, one of the largest mass illegal crossings we have ever seen took place in Eagle, Texas this morning, with Border Patrol sources telling us over 2,200 people crossed there since midnight. It happened right next to the port of entry as illegal immigrants continue to ignore Biden admin messaging of do not come and do not fear the promised consequences for crossing illegally. I want you to think about that, because Biden's messaging, do not come, is BS. That is only meant for you, because they are in deep trouble and they know they're feeling it. The only people that support this radical agenda by the Bidens, the only people right now that are supporting it are crazy Hollywood lunatics who, by the way, have high fences around their homes, and lawmakers who support this, who also have fences around their homes and protect their own home borders from riffraff. That's exactly what's going on here. They are the hypocrites. But they are in charge. Yes, they are. Because look who's sitting in office. And we have a system of government right now, a bureaucracy that has been bought and paid for and owned by leftist radicals and Marxists in this country, even within our FBI. And that I absolutely believe. We have seen this nation just be ripped apart, not only politically, with all of the insanity that is happening to President Trump. Just look at what is going on with these 4 major court cases against him. But watch what is happening in our nation with a border that has been wide open without any observation, right? From the mainstream media. They're barely even there. They don't even want to report it to you. They don't even want to tell you what's really going on here because, frankly, they are also in bed with these radical leftists because some of them are radical leftists. And they don't care. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about your national security. They don't care about the lives of your children and your family. They do not care what is happening to these poor people that are being trafficked into our country illegally, and they don't even care about the fact that this type of strain in our system is causing divisions that are irreparable. And it's literally tearing apart at our foundation. Bill wasn't the only Fox reporter I said that was tweeting about the border this weekend. My colleague, I love you, Griff Jenkins, was told by a CBP source that basically there were more than 20,000 encounters at the southwest border from Friday to Sunday. So we've got a total of 20,630 is what they are. Friday, this is what Griff has, 6,989. Saturday, 6,228. Sunday, 7,413 at the southwest border. And guess what? There's a big train on its way. Yes, La Bestia, the beast. Also this weekend, some of sources, Fox News sources, handed the video over. Griff posted it. This weekend, there was this video of hundreds of migrants, and this has been happening for a long time, folks, on a train from Zacatecas, Mexico, to the United States. I've seen these trains before, and they're usually filled with children. Many times, kids fall off these trains. They are injured. They are killed. Sometimes they are raped on their journey to the United States. Once they reach certain parts of Mexico, however, they are taken by human traffickers, which are using them. They either use some of the young girls and young boys in sex trafficking. It's an entire unbelievable, horrific industry that our government is a part of now and backing, because our government is making it possible under the Biden administration to do this. I want you to take a listen to this. This is from a Fox News story on the viral video. For instance, Ajo, Arizona saw 2,000 illegal crossings a day for several straight days last week, forcing Border Patrol agents to resort to street releases because the shelters are packed. The migrants include people from Africa. Yes, they are not all from Latin America. And by the way, they're not here because they are fleeing war. They are here for economic reasons and because these cartels and our own government and the NGOs are all making money off of them. Yes, our government is the biggest trafficker in the world right now. And the Biden administration has just won the award for making, like I said earlier, the land crossing between the United States and Mexico the most dangerous land crossing on the planet. How embarrassing is this? We were once the most respected nation on earth. And now we have absolutely lost control of not only our sovereignty, but what our nation fundamentally stands for and who we are to the rest of the world. Not a nation of law and order, not a nation of justice, but a nation of chaos and injustice. And I'm trying to see the glass half full, folks, because I do believe change is coming, and I do believe it will come in 2024. But I see a very dangerous future if we don't change that. And if we don't speak out, and if we do not talk, God help us. Because the cartels and the human traffickers right now appear to have more power than our own law enforcement officials. They appear to have more support from the Biden administration than our own law enforcement officials. And people are suffering. This is the worst humanitarian and national security crisis that we have faced in modern times. And for the most part, our lawmakers are asleep at the wheel. They are just hoping and keeping their fingers crossed that the bombs or the terrorists or the bad guys don't touch them or their own families, or that it doesn't happen for some reason. Miraculously, it is stopped. Because guess what? It's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. That is a fact. So if we don't wake up and if we don't put a stop to this, fair warning, you know what's coming. I hate to be so blunt. I know this has been a tough podcast, but we have a border that's out of control and a government that does not care about its people. Folks, if you want to make a difference, get involved. Vote your lawmakers out if they're not doing their job. Speak up, speak out. Don't be afraid. Speak up, speak out. Do not be afraid. Follow me on Truth at Sara Carter Official, on X at Sara Carter DC, and on Instagram at SCarterDC. God bless you. God bless our great nation. And God bless the great state of Texas.